Gonna try to make me fall down. I'm moving on, I carry on. I'm learning to fly like a butterfly. Maybe I can tell you how I feel now. No one's gonna try to make me fall down. I'm moving on, I carry on. I'm learning to fly like a butterfly. And now I don't want you to come. This ride is mine, I'll make it on my own. I'm moving on, I'll carry on. I'm learning to fly like a butterfly.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Summer 2019. I know it was a long break. Thankfully, we've untilted LS. We've righted him. Everything's going to be okay. No more Morellonomicon Kaiser is going to be coming up in our next series.
I believe you.
Yeah. No,
Don't
well,
lie
I
to
mean,
me.
you don't need to believe me. I've just
No.
read it. I just read it.
You know what? You already broke my heart earlier today. He canceled on me for the Lion King.
Look, it's just going to be really, really late. And it's a Sunday night. It's a school night. So we're just going to have to find some time in the week. It'll be okay.
You can save it. You can save it out. It's okay.
Well, Kingzone or SANDBOX could save it because there is a 10:30 session that we might be able to make if this one is going to be a quick series. I'm not sure whether it will be, as Jinna have confirmed their slot in relegation. I don't know whether that was mentioned yesterday, but that was when that moment occurred. There was a bright spark, much like Alderaan in Star Wars A New Hope, that was suddenly silenced
I like that.
as Jinna fell to Gen G.
All right. Well, today it is possible, okay, that SANDBOX can fall to the east side.
There's also a possibility
Yeah.
that the team in 7th place is one victory away from first place.
Wait.
As in, like, one match score.
Oh, yeah,
One
yeah,
match
yeah.
score away. Of course, I mean, it'll take more than that to get across like,
Right.
different game scores and things like that. However, one match victory will separate first place and 7th place if Kingzone can win here today. And I want it just for science, because I just don't think it's ever been this close moving into our second last week of the regular season ever. This is so incredibly neck and neck
Yeah. And
between
we
our top teams.
take a look at some of the points of the match. We've got a long way to go, though. Losing streaks. 3 matches Kingzone versus 2 matches SANDBOX. And then 2 best teams in round 1, Kingzone 6 wins, 3 losses versus SANDBOX 7 wins, 2 losses. However, are down in round 2, both 2 wins, 3 losses scoreline. And then Kingzone's playoff warning sign is on. If they win 2-0, they become 5th place. 2-1 remains on 7th place.
And 7th place is, you know, that's the edge of
7th
the
place
abyss.
basically is 2nd place.
Yeah, that is,
Okay.
and it's also at the moment like the edge of the abyss at the moment, because that's 8 wins versus the next team being on 4. So there is no way you're falling down below that unless something goes catastrophically wrong or catastrophically right for a team like Humble Life, who looked good in our first series of the day against Damwon, knocking them down 2-0, looking pretty handedly able to do that. We're going to check out these games here, as average loss time is a fun one. SANDBOX don't like playing losing games for very long. They like to get out of them as quickly as possible, which is why they lose the fastest out of any other team. That being said, you can see it's still relatively long. It's not like we have 25-minute games here in the LCK. We still have games that go relatively long, but an average of 30 minutes is much shorter than a lot of other games that we've seen.
Yeah, it definitely is. And look at the win rate with first turret. Not as high as some teams here
That is true. That is
in
true.
the LCK.
But third for Kingzone ain't too bad, and it just shows that they're able to transition leads relatively well. They are a snowbally team. They do utilize advantages in lanes very effectively, and if Cuzz is working well, they do really good things. As you can see, this was pretty decent against FLICKR in their most recent loss to SK Telecom. It was a 0-1. We're going to struggle to find too many great things about how this one has gone. But Naehyun bringing out the old life form disintegration ray relatively well. Very Fly-esque in that series. Wasn't enough to win.
The
Didn't look
Vel'Koz,
too bad.
it was nice to see though. You know, we get pretty tired of seeing Corki Azir here
Absolutely.
every single time. It's nice when some of the counter champions do end up being picked up.
That was a really nice sidestep there from Deft as well to avoid getting hit by the chain lash. It's a bit of an in from Khan though, you have to say, is Griffin versus Summit. It was another 0-2 as SANDBOX fell to the struggling Griffin. You have to remember that this is not the Griffin with their regular season dominance that we've otherwise seen. I mean, this was Summit still styling, but ultimately wasn't a victory for the squad.
Summit is becoming more and more like Keen was on Afrika, where you can always rely on him to stop his opposition for the most part and be reliable as a mechanical monster.
Yeah.
But sometimes the rest of the members, they don't quite pull it together. So
That is true.
That
And I told a lie, it was a 2-1. So they
Okay,
did manage
2-1?
to win one of the games.
take a look at the Cataclysm right there. That Tom Ken, he was pretty cooked right there.
Nice collection of vision though, managing to get a point blank range onto one and then max range onto another. Not too bad from Blahens, but this is not his highlight. This was SANDBOX cleaning the floor of a Griffin team in one of the games.
We'll take a look at the key player comparison. Key player comparison. There you go. You like that?
Yeah, got it in the end.
You like that one. A little bit surprised that it is going to be the jungler matchup here.
Yep.
As gold per minute, OnFleek is first by 7 gold. So, between first and fourth, it's almost the same. It's 7. That's actually. I'm actually curious what second and third are. That would be really
329 and
Yeah.
327. I'm not sure. As you can see, Vision Score is actually first for Cuzz, and both of these players very good at taking damage. And I think that's because they've got a fast and loose playstyle. Both Cuzz and OnFleek do really like to get in amongst it, and very early on in the game as well. So this will be pretty explosive. Both of these teams do like to play proactively, for better or for worse. So who's going to be ahead of the curve and who's not is going to be the question mark here. Kingzone start off with the correct colors on our blue side. They're going to be making their way into LOL Park first up. Deft and TusiN on the bottom side of the map. Naehyun, of course, with a smile on his face. Rascal and Cuzz. Of course, a non-changing roster. No subs available. These are the players that are going to have to be playing here. As Deft is often very stoic, but I think I can see a bit of angry Deft. The alpaca is ready to take some names.
Do you think that he's angry?
That's what I'm feeling.
Do you think that he saw Morel and Omicron built on Kai'Sa too, or?
Yeah, I think he saw that, and he's going to play Jinx.
He must be fuming right now. He's looking behind him.
Yeah.
He's making sure no one
Yeah,
is
making
about
sure Sungyun has actually left LOL Park so that he's not there infecting other people
really
with Morel and Nomicons and things like that.
Morel and Nomicon.
Yeah.
It's the way that it deserves to be.
Pronounced,
As SANDBOX, they're getting ready to come out on stage here.
Yeah, and I feel like we explained this last time, and SANDBOX's top side of the map probably a little bit ahead of where Kingzones are, especially with Summit being so incredibly powerful. However, they lose out on the bottom side. Ghost and Joker are going to have to get themselves together, and with the Tahm Kench nerfs over and over again, Joker is probably our most stalwart Tahm Kench player here in the LCK. He really does like to unbench the Kench when possible, but it's more of a dangerous prospect here with all of the nerfs slowly piling up week after week. And Deft and TusiN, they do like to run the Tahm Kench as well, but we know that TusiN has a lot more up his sleeve than what Joker's champion pool has offered us in the past.
Yeah. And SANDBOX, given that they have the red side available to them, we'll see what kind of counter picks they might be able to utilize for the mid and top lane. Bot meta is pretty stale right now.
Yeah.
Then again, mid lane is stale as well. Corki and Azir.
We'll see how many Kaisers we're going to get in this series as well. Kaiser's just become so much more popular over recent matches. Here I on your screen right now trying to convince his team to pick the right champions and use them correctly.
Like, you think that we're not picking these champs?
And he's been seeing him around LOL Park so far today. He's been in very high spirits. Hirai has been a coach that's sometimes lent towards more of the overly serious side.
Deft is,
yeah, I know,
Deft's
right?
not in the mood today.
He's staring daggers at that particular monitor.
Well,
And when he has that look on his face, players get bodied. That's what happens.
Is that what happens?
That is what happens.
like, so are you saying that Deft's gonna pull out the Gragas?
Oh no, he's playing Jinx. I know.
You said bodied.
Yeah, not body slammed. Bodied.
I don't want to talk to you. First Lion King, now this. I'm upset.
I can tell. I can tell.
You're gonna
channel
do
that
the
in-
play-by-play. I'm gonna do the color.
That's our jobs.
Oh,
Well done. Nailed it.
no Gragas.
I know. Oh god.
Man.
No, they can't do any bodying. It's ruined.
You really did lie to me.
Yeah, I
I
apologize.
am getting very upset.
Well, Kai'Sa really popular. I actually would have liked Kingzone to go towards a Gragas pick, but they're not going to want to do that. Is SANDBOX going to ban Ezreal and Yuumi? And if Deft and TusiN had their hands on those two champions, you could understand that the next game, a ban would be coming in. So I like the bans. Ezreal very, very strong at the moment. Deft, fantastic Ezreal player, ban it away. Last ban to come in here from SANDBOX is the Jace was taken away from Summit. See where Rascal is going to point his priority. I'd like a Nico lock-in, personally,
Ooh.
but I don't
See
know
that
whether
you're a
that
man
will
of culture.
happen.
How about a Zero Corki?
Oh, Corky's going to be picked, isn't he?
just,
I hate you.
just do me in already.
I hate you.
And now you know that SANDBOX with the Azir enthusiast. Are you ready for another one of these, Atlas?
Azir Sejuani comes in immediately. If it happens, I'm going to be very upset. All right, Karma. There we go.
Don't even think that that's
I don't know
going
why
on.
I'm positive about Karma, but there, it's not Azir. Karma Azir. Give it to me.
Well,
No, we're not going to be picking Azir into Corki. That's a silly decision. We see Corki picked into Azir, right? Right, guys? Can't. It's just
don't get your hopes up, Alex.
can't happen.
Don't get your hopes up, okay? Karma is picked, but we don't know if that's going to be... Oh, we might get some
Ooh.
diversity. Hold on. That,
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh my goodness,
Kali.
it's happening.
Hold on. Hold my hand.
Tom Kench, Ezreal. No, I can't be Ezreal.
That's my leg.
Tom Kench, Jinx. Tom Kench. Oh my god, if you...
Oh! You
Is
were
the day
right.
saved?
You
Is
read
the
it.
day saved?
He was very...
No, it's going to be Varus.
Oh my god.
And the Varus is strong lane alongside the Tom Kench historically. Tom Kench taking a few hits, but it's still going to be pretty good. Deft just likes TusiN to be on Tom Kench so that he can play super far up the lane without having to care about trade damage. And this is what he does when it's Angry Deft. Angry Deft just demands Tom Kench from TusiN and says, do what you're told. And I was talking to TusiN in the Rift Rivals after party, and he was explaining how this particular mindset works. And I was like, how do you feel about it? He's like, well, we win every one of those games. And I was like, all right, well, I guess it sounds fine then. As
Doesn't
the
sound
Braum's
that
going to
bad.
be locked in as the answer means that Karma is going to be heading towards a solo lane. Or, I guess, as we learnt in the LEC,
You saw that, right?
you know, Reckless piloting that Karma to a, I think, 1-4 scoreline. So maybe we won't see it on the bottom side of the map.
You know, if these picks were reversed, maybe I would say that Deft was inspired by his good friend Reckless, and that we were going to see a mid Varus and then an AD Karma, but turns out we get the Braum versus the Tom Kench, so heaven forbid.
Well,
we
I mean,
abuse
that
it.
is the classic pick into
Right.
the Tom Kench. Or the classic pick if you're Effort. Effort just loves to play Martyr champions. Absolutely hilarious. Just shows who his teacher is. The Aurelia and the Kennen have been banned away here. Some Rascal bans on the side of SANDBOX as the Xin Zhao is going to leave the hands of OnFleek and Cogmore. Interesting. So Karma, of course, does open up a lot of Juggernaut type compositions.
Yeah.
Juggernaut, interestingly, of course, named after the Rocks Tigers composition that they came up with, which was all about the Cogmore, but you can use it with a whole lot of different hyper carries. That hyper carry choice is going to be limited by its namesake in the Cogmore.
Lock in the Draven. No, we don't get to have fun.
Look, Glacial Synergy, bottom side.
Very powerful.
Not bad. Gonna get you Ranger and Guardian if you're playing Nobles.
Ooh,
Brilliant.
okay.
Get to level
Absolutely,
8 with all of those units, and you're feeling pretty good, am I right?
Fantastic. Excellent analysis right there.
Thank you. Got to get some TFT in where I can.
Yeah.
Ash going to be the pickup, and Kingzone now to respond as
finally.
Rascal goes towards the Kled. I love this, especially if it's going to be that top lane Karma, which is almost guaranteed. You're not going to be playing jungle Akali, are you? We're saving the last pick for OnFleek, and so Rascal's going to get that counter pick. I love this.
Jungle Karma.
Ah, Jama.
Karma. Oh my.
Very similar to Drama.
Now, the cool thing about the Kled also is the healing reduction that he has will hurt the Karma.
And it's going to be Cuzz on the Karthus. So we've got a lot of, well, magic damage actually coming out of the Corki.
There's a fair bit of magic, and then also you have to consider that Varus deals magic damage as well. So I actually don't like...
Oh, no, not necessarily. Because this composition can actually sort of meld into a poke and then engage comp if you go lethality Varus.
Ooh.
And Deft is our lethality Varus player.
Okay.
So look to the keystones at the beginning of the game. If you're seeing some sneaky comets there could be a chance that Deft has gone for something a little bit crazy.
Okay. We'll have to wait and see, actually, if it is the lethality. And as you're bringing that up, that would probably be the best course of action for them. Although it doesn't have as much synergy with the Kled.
That is true. You want to be getting yourself in there and getting amongst it. So not going to be super fantastic.
Would definitely be a little interesting. Now, on the side of SANDBOX, their team composition is very engage heavy. They want to go in with the Ashe ultimate, the Cataclysm, and the Akali is going to have pretty much free reign. It's going to be like a game we saw earlier on in the week where the Tahm Kench just struggles to try to protect.
Yeah, it's like he needs
the
all the Devours. He needs to be able to devour his team.
Yeah.
But doesn't quite have the ability to do that.
So we're going to take a look at the two team compositions one more time. Varus, Tahm Kench, Corki, Karthus, and Kled up there in the top lane. Now, this team comp does have 4 champions, essentially, that don't slow down. They're going all the way. And so it's going to be interesting to see if SANDBOX can actually end this before 3 items, because if they can't, they're going to have to give the leg up to Kingzone in terms of draft. Even though Karma is very obnoxious, the Akali and Ashe are going to have a much more difficult time in the later stages. This is a very explosive mid-game comp.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how it is going to work. We'll see whether Jarvan changed his summoner spells or whether the teleport spellbook has come in. Let's find out in Game 1. Now, the question you've all been waiting for. It's he's got control. You were all baited. Everyone was baited.
Well,
my producer was baited.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little sad. Now, let me tell you something.
Tell me something.
Cuzz is using the Arthas Menethil skin.
Uh-huh.
So,
tell me more.
It's the worst skin.
Oh.
It has a it has an indicator on the Q's radius.
Yikes.
So, a little bit unfortunate there. The best Karthus skin. Do you have a favorite Karthus skin?
No.
No, you don't? I personally like the Ermac skin.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You know Ermac from Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, alright. The Ermac skin's the best, not this Arthas pre-Lich King type skin that they have here.
And he wasn't a sorcerer pre-Lich King, he was like a knight or a paladin, you know?
Yeah, I think he was a paladin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, very unfortunate.
I mean, he was a did you say very unfortunate?
You like that?
Oh, there we go. Look
like
at
that?
you with your World of Warcraft knowledges. Amazing.
Thank you very much. I'll be here all night. Oh, Naehyun.
Okay.
Going top, actually.
Bit of a cute little lane swap situation.
Yeah.
Where Rascal is going to try his best to punish Dove. Let's see whether he can do that as that bear trap on a rope goes down. Lands the next one as well. You ain't healing at all, Dove.
I just thought about something.
Oh,
let me give you a skin idea.
Give it to me.
You're right. Normally, you know, we've been lacking on these in recent weeks.
That's true. It's true. Oh, we had one earlier on. It wasn't too bad.
How about a chocobo for Kled to ride on?
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, and they drop it at the same time as Final Fantasy.
Oh my. A collab?
Think about
Square Enix collab?
I am just seeing dollar signs.
So am I. I'm seeing them leave my bank account.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, dream. That's stunning. Make it happen. Let's email Riot. I always forget to
You need to
email
get
them
on
when I
that,
say that,
yeah.
but I really need to actually do it for
There
this.
needs to be skin suggestion hotline.
What about what about a Kled skin where he's riding a Zia?
I like
Or a
that.
Nivea. There'd be like this skin line where just like Scarl is all the different like bird characters
I like
or animal characters.
Oh my
It's
god.
like hijack.
Master Hunter.
Yeah, or like hijack Kled and he's like riding
Oh, you talked about it. It ran away.
riding Quinn's bird. What's Quinn's bird called?
Wait a sec. Hold on. Valor.
Valley, yeah,
But
yeah. He's riding
Kled,
Valley.
when he ults, it could play the Chocobo song.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
So good.
We're just printing money at this point.
I think so. It might even be irresponsible to make that skin because
Yeah.
it'd be too many people buying a cosmetic product. That
Yeah,
doesn't
and then
change
they nerf Kled.
Yeah,
That's how it tends to go.
they probably need to. He's pretty strong.
Yeah.
At the moment, doing his best to abuse the Akali, but failing to do so. He's behind by a few CS, but the lane state is heading towards him. Naehyun's missing basically every creep up here, which is a bit of a disaster.
Yeah, Naehyun's doing a really bad job at this top lane corking.
Yep.
Against the Karma, the lane swap not really panning out that well, and he is going up against Summit. So
But Cuzz has hard farmed his jungle, looking for a back timing. He's going to go home, upgrades his jungle item, gets himself some shoes. Just doing some shopping here as Rascal calls Skull, picks him back up again. He's going to be A-okay. Eating through that potion now as Dove has been able to harass him relatively effectively. And does this matchup sort of change? Is it supposed to be Akali favored in the early game, or is it supposed to be Rascal running over the top with this matchup?
well, the Akali can lose out to the Kled pretty easily. Kled is definitely a nightmare for her, especially in the later stages. And then Kled being planted in the middle lane gives him access to roam top and bot
That is true. That is true. Better
very,
location
very
for the
easily.
Kled. Of course, I believe when Kled made his resurgence, it was Doimby that started it off.
Right.
Back when he was back on Rogue Warriors last year.
Yeah,
So
it was doing B.
Yeah, theoretically, actually, initially started off as a mid lane pick, which is odd. Naehyun coming in here, trying to get some damage onto Summit. Does get a lot in there, actually. Is gonna follow with the Valkyrie, and Summit's just getting all of the money out of this Corki. Prioritizes the minions for that Q, though. Bad news bears.
And also, Corki has Kleptomancy. Or, Corki, I'm sorry. He's going up against Kleptomancy. He has Electrocute.
Yeah. He
Which
goes back
does-
and gets a Culver.
Right.
Oh, easily. And he's also now going to go back.
He's
mid.
struggling, though.
Yeah, he's going back mid lane because he's like, nah, I'm sick
I can't
of
do
dealing
this,
with
yeah.
this stupid karma. But speaking of Electrocute, Rascal
And
going
yeah,
to get
the
electrocuted.
lane swaps are just not panning out. And I have to wonder if this was just an improvision that they came up with. Ooh, nice
Thank you,
observer.
observers.
Look at the observer.
Well,
They're on point.
yeah, Naehyun picks up this minion wave. He's going to move it over to the side. And that should be able to get it into a pretty decent lane state as OnFleek's going to get licked and then moves over. Deft, you can see, ahead in farm against the Ashe. The Varus arrows, in theory, looking better than the Ashe variety.
Well, Kingzone is not doing that well so far in this game. Look at the mid and top lane XP disparity.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is sort of like where the gap was supposed to be, right? In theory, on paper, for both of these teams. I mean, Ghost and Joker are the weakest links as far as the laning phase is concerned, and Summit and Dove, fantastic. Probably a little bit more in favor of Summit, as the Bear Trap is going to attach to him.
Ooh,
Cuzz
level
moving
6.
on over. Yeah, does find that level 6.
Wall of Pain.
And the Wall of Pain gank is going to come down. First Skittle misses. Second Skittle is flashed as Summit has the Inspire Shield, but he's very much dead, and First Blood is given to Cuzz. And the disaster begins for SANDBOX.
And that's a really good pickup right now for Cuzz. He gets the kill as well, which is going to be most valuable on the Karthus early on. He's going to transition down through River now as OnFleek. He's going to waste his red buff duration.
The crazy thing is that Cuzz had just been basically prioritizing getting good pathing around his jungle for the farm. Then wanders top lane, and perfect timing. Rascal is able to start things up with the charge. So this is just Cuzz playing probably the best economic game on this Karthus that he possibly can, as Naehyun a little bit late to taking the blue buff.
No, if this were a solo queue game, that Corki is just not getting the blue. Okay, not with how he's been getting body slammed, both in top and mid.
The bodying was supposed to be
Yeah,
Deft, remember? And they even banned
I
the
know.
dang Gragas.
And you know, you told me about it too, and I believed you, and you let me down.
Oh, look, no, it's scaling.
All right, well, take a look at this. Summit just being way too gritty. He already had the crash. There was no way for Rascal to hold it. And then right here, we're going to see a pretty silly flash. You're never making it out, Karma. I hate to break it to you, but there's no universe where you make it out. So he ends up wasting his flash, which is a really big pickup for Kingzone.
Flash also used by Rascal, though, to follow immediately,
Yeah.
so at least he gets that. Cuzz, though, holds on to his, so the Karthus is going to be very, very comfortable as he makes his way around his jungle.
Here's Runic Echo.
Yeah,
He already has him.
That's really
All right, we got 8 minutes here.
good lord.
Now, Requiem's up, so we should actually just be seeing laners trade recklessly. Even if Deft and TusiN would get the quote-unquote worse end of the trade, it's not really the worse end. You want to keep the thresholds for both parties low, not this ping-pong game that we have, where they're playing as if they don't have a Karthus jungle on their team.
Do you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see Cuzz just press R.
Oh.
Just press it.
Just randomly to send a message?
Just throw it.
Okay.
As speaking of throwing it, Deft's going to throw out his R
throw
button,
it.
lands onto Ghost. Great unbreakable value coming out from Joker, though, as Stand Behind Me comes in. Piercing arrow, doing a fair bit of damage there, and the exhaust is all they're going to get. OnFleek making his way down. Deft is a decent target, but the Devour is still there. No one going to find anything in this particular
What the
gang
hell was
scenario.
TusiN doing?
Wandering?
Did you see it? The wiggle?
No.
He was just wiggling back and forth. He was getting his exercise on, not even running at them.
Have you seen Tom Kench?
I think he was maybe expecting OnFleek to appear and then thought that would be a bad news bear situation, but with Cuzz in such close proximity,
Yeah.
really surprising. Hopefully we get a replay of it. I would just love to see Tom just eat that right out of Karthus' face. That would,
Delicious.
yeah. Oh, man. I am so looking forward to eating buffs as I haven't played in quite a while.
Yeah?
I have not played.
I mean, you've been streaming a lot of League of Legends recently.
No, I do coaching. I haven't actually played myself. I'm gonna play it for the first time tonight in like 7 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I could watch.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you there. You got a Twitch Prime?
Oh, hell yeah. Give me that Twitch Prime. I actually don't have Amazon Prime at all. I don't have
That's
access
all right.
to giving anyone
You're gonna
a
have
Twitch
to get
Prime.
it before you come to my channel.
I think Amazon's in Australia now, but it wasn't when I moved.
all right.
So I just
Get
don't
on a
have
plane,
much
buddy. I
experience
don't
with the older Amazon. I'm an old man.
You're gonna have to give me your Twitch
What
Prime
is this fandangle Twitch situation? Don't know this stuff, man. I don't know why me being old involves being Southern as well, but obviously something's going to change in my future. As OnFleek trying to scout out some vision, finds a lot of them actually, as Cuzz moves on up. Shelly might be a target worth taking, but there is vision on that particular one, as Tom Kench has moved on over. Now with a man advantage, they should be able to pretty comfortably pick this one up and maybe even transition all of that gold into Rascal and his ability to split push on this Glitter. I think he needs a fair bit of help here. 20 CS down against the Karma. OnFleek in full vision of Kingzone isn't going to be able to do anything, and Cuzz is going to get that 100 gold, which is all he actually wanted. In fact, Shelly might be forgotten here this game. He may not even ever use her because he just wanted to get the money.
Okay.
This is investment banker Carl.
Did you hear Corky?
Having a
He
giggle?
thought that was very funny.
Yeah, I know.
He thought your joke was so funny. You're actually making League characters laugh. That is how good you are.
Oh, thanks, man. I like it even when you're sarcastic.
I'm not sarcastic.
No?
No.
Bear Trap. Summit ain't going to be healing as he misses that one, and that's going to give a lot of value to the tether of Summit. Doesn't actually decide to mantra it, though. So is therefore not able to actually utilize it. Deft getting behind the volley very nicely here on the bottom side. Checking in on the CS. It is very, very good for Deft and the Varus.
The thing about this...
There. Otherwise, elsewhere, 20 CS gap.
Yeah, Varus, the Blade of the Ruin King is going to be the first item for him. And in the later stages of the game, the Corki already has the Hex Drinker. That's actually going to significantly stunt SANDBOX's mid-game power if teamfights would end up unfolding. But Clown Dragon, first one of the game here at 12.5 minutes, as hold on. We might have a
going
kill.
To land as Skull's going to get removed. Cuzz looking for the Skittles. Flash comes out from Summit, and they'll take that. Let him survive. OnFleek making his way in as the pings were there. They knew exactly what that guy was trying to do, but Shelly is not going to be invested, and Cuzz really needs to get her down if he wants to make some money off the turret plates that are going to be leaving in about a minute's time.
Really close call there that Summit doesn't die. Otherwise, that would have been Shelly being cast.
Or maybe he has actually just forgotten about it. I was saying that sarcastically, but, I mean, just use it.
See, I wasn't being sarcastic, but you are?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's 50 seconds remaining on turret plates. So hopefully Cuzz remembers that you want to get the turret plates with the repels, not just collect the 100 gold.
Yeah. Well, he's in
Hopefully-
base now.
He is in base. He's running. Maybe they're going to use it in bottom.
Yeah, too late.
The biggest horror story, I think that they do want to use it in bottom. Are they going to be in time? Did he line this up?
I mean,
He's
Shelly hasn't
running.
been used yet, but we're not getting any shots left.
Hold on. Well, she hasn't been summoned. Don't rush her.
20 seconds.
20 seconds. Summon her right now. Hurry. Press the key.
Press the Shelly button.
And then block for him.
All
Okay.
right, there we go. 8 seconds.
Oh
5,
my
4, 3, 2,
Give me the countdown.
1.
Are you serious?
See you, man. Yeah. It's a disaster. It's just not good. As you can hear the Korean Cuzz. Cuzz is losing his mind.
Yeah, he is.
He loves picking up turret plate gold, and you just denied all of that. Cuzz, as Deft baits out the Unbreakable.
I mean, there's really not an excuse to have this happen,
Oh, yeah.
though, in pro play. You have several minutes to coordinate with your laners and then come up with a solution for planting her down so that it converts into
They lost
effectively
like
a kill.
500 gold.
Yeah, not exactly. I'm not impressed.
No, I'm quite
That's
upset.
actually a little bit more
I am
horrifying
distraught.
than Morellonomicon.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Don't say
I did
ridiculous
go
stuff.
there.
Don't say it before Cuzz has even finished his first item that isn't Runic Echo's Morellonomicon. That is going to be money in this game.
You know that it is, right? You know that
It's
Dove-
also decently high value, actually. In this game against Dove and Summit, you know, they do have healing options, and Morellonomicon on Karthus is a decent choice.
Yeah, Morello in this game is not that bad.
Yeah.
Okay, Morello is all right here.
I know you guys in the chat pretty upset about it because, you know, of course, LS taught everyone that Morellonomicon, terrible item that makes us all sad. But this game
is not that
not
bad.
entirely bad.
But well, this is bearing in mind if Karma gets the Athene's Unholy Grail. Okay, if she doesn't, not a big fan.
Okay. Well, she should.
Hold the Oblivion Orb, get Void Staff, or get Death Cap. That'd be fine.
Not a lot of people in favor of the Hold the Oblivion Orb type build,
Yeah,
which was
I noticed.
popularized by good old Crown. He loved it. He built basically Sork Boots,
And an Oblivion Orb.
and
Yeah.
Luden's Echo on every champion that he possibly could. Mid lane Karma, exactly the same. Doesn't matter what you're playing. As TusiN going to lick some wards. Cuzz going to get the money for it, of course. As Cuzz is smashing through his jungle.
Requiem hasn't been cast,
No.
so this is one of the
He's going to get
things
to rank 1 Requiem may never get cast this game.
This is genuinely one of the things I really dislike when teams pick Karthus. They tend to play him just to play him. That they have his R, he scales up, he deals damage, whatnot. Very, very fast clear.
Yeah.
Fastest in the game. And they don't try to manipulate lane states.
I feel like they play him threatening the R instead of playing him
Right.
with the R.
Yes,
Does that make
you know
sense?
what? That's a very good way to put it.
Yeah. And I think you should just press your R button
He has,
whenever
I mean,
it's
he has
on
a
cooldown.
2-level advantage right now.
Yeah.
Level 11
Yeah,
to
we're never
level
going to
9.
see rank 1 Requiem.
Yeah.
Maybe he just didn't skill it, you know? We'll never know.
Well, they're going to invest time into getting Clown Dragon here.
Yep, and they are going to be able to pick that one up. Next one also going to be a Cloud running fast, guys. As, oh
Mage
my
Eyes.
god, he doesn't even get the Oblivion Orb. This is the Cuzz that you want to be watching.
Now-
This is the Cuzz that that's feeling confident.
He is feeling confident, and I also like how aware he is of how the teams are going to actually fight.
Yep.
Karthus is going to be in the back line. This is not the suicide mission Karthus that jumps into the enemy team and then tries to die, go into his passive, and then cast Requiem. The Kled is going to go face first. Corki and Varus will follow, and Karthus will Requiem from behind after having previously likely been mid-range in the team fight.
Yep, and TusiN can join them as well, and Abyssal Voyage as well to start up some of these fights in this clip which is occurring. Alright, we're going to throw down the ultimate. Joker just explodes. See you later, mate. And it looks pretty breakable, to be honest. I know the name of that ability, but it's not relevant here. As Cuzz comes down, I believe even got a Dark Harvest stack and picks up an assist for his Magi. 2 stacks on that one now as Rascal. Alright, Skull is about to leave, but otherwise he's in no trouble at all. Got his Tiamat building towards his Black Cleaver pretty comfortably, and this turret is above half health still against the Karma. And I feel like this is a situation similar to that of Nogari playing something like the Karma. I feel like Summit has played out this laning phase a little bit better, but as you move on, he's still going to have Ardent Censer, Athene's Unholy Grail, these items that aren't going to be the carry style. It's all about building up Ghost, and he's not going to have the agency that you want to see out of a star carry like Summit.
And it's a little bit different. You know, I think that some people, they might think of it akin to when FLICKR would play Karma, FLICKR would play Galio.
Yeah, the
whatnot,
Galio
even though
sort of
he
days,
was the main carry player. And he would sort of just lead and command them around. We see in this replay right here, Joker, he died.
He died real good.
Yeah.
He did a lot of dying that time.
And so Summit, though, it's a little bit different. He's not the general for the team in that sense. It's not that they need him to do these very bizarre engages. Summit just needs to show up and break things.
Yeah.
And normally he's really good at doing that. So the fact that he is on the Karma here is definitely a little bit strange. Also, Ardent Censer completed second item, not the Athene's Unholy Grail, which I find to be a little bit surprising.
Yeah, I like the Athenes a little bit more. This shows that Summit wants to be getting into team fights pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's what it would be suggesting.
And wants to boost Ghost as much as possible, but Ghost is probably on a bit of a 3-item track, probably going to finish off his Hurricane and then build towards an Infinity Edge, and that's when he's really going to spike in damage. Of course, the 2-item spike ain't bad on the Ashe. You do like to get that AoE damage in there if you can. However, it's not going to be big damage until the Infinity Edge is done, as we're looking for a little bit of a collapse onto TusiN here. He might have to flash to get over that wall, or maybe he just can't. Gonna go into his stopwatch, trying to bait a fight as the charge comes down. Ghost is the target. He's gonna go down extremely low. Joker gonna go into the stopwatch, and Dub's gonna find the backline immediately. Everyone on the bottom side of the map is dead. The Requiem picks up 1 kill, but it's still a 3-for-1 in favor of SANDBOX.
It's still a 3-for-1 in favor of them, and that team fight went down exactly like we talked about earlier. Akali will get into the backline. Tom, he doesn't have enough mouths to eat all of these teammates. Okay, so because he flashed over, he did the Requiem. It does a lot of damage.
It does, and these Qs are also doing a lot of damage. You saw the lay waste on to OnFleek. Deterred him from going for any sort of dive under this turret, but the adder is going to fall. SANDBOX getting a lot back for that engage, and it's the first blunder from Kingzone and the first kills to come in this game for SANDBOX as well, as I believe Summit just got the big chicken.
Hold on.
All right.
Brother, listen, okay? Brother Dove is about to buy an item to help Kingzone. But first, take a look at how this all goes down. Zanya's Hourglass cast first, Wall of Pain comes out. Deft doesn't have free deal, and as soon as Dove gets into this, you can see the Shroud so obnoxious.
Oh,
everyone just starts getting sliced apart. Naehyun couldn't get free deal. Deft couldn't get free deal. They're not durable enough. And as we come back to live, SANDBOX playing for the other team, the Morellonomicon completed on Akali.
Oh, it's a cool book. It's got a gun and a book, man. This is how you stay educated and dangerous at the same time.
I'm not gonna make it.
Lucky we rescheduled The Lion King. I don't want to watch it with you tilted. Apparently that movie's terrible anyway.
Oh, man.
Well, Deft looking for OnFleek. I'm not going to throw out the R button, but he's going to take a fair bit of damage there. You can see a couple of items already done. Decides to go for the rapid fire cannon, keep himself as safe as possible. Can understand that mindset, given what Dove did to the backline. So, pretty good stuff here. They're going to be down about 700 gold, so nothing to write home about whatsoever. 1 turret each for Kingzone and SANDBOX, but you have to say that the turret that's down on Kingzone's side is much more valuable for SANDBOX. They're going to get their second Cloud Drake. So moving around this map, which was something that Kingzone were very, very good at, given their team composition, the charge, the Abyssal Voyage, things like that, will be negated somewhat by SANDBOX's couple of dragons. See what we roll as the next one. And the Ocean Dragon is going to come in. It is an overcast day. Here for these guys is Dove going to move on out of the way of the Tongue Lash. Gets a bit of damage down there, but Naehyun is not going to get tagged. He's going to take some turret shots, but if that Shuriken backflip had landed onto him, then maybe Dove goes in for some potential solo kill 1v3 action. But this isn't Showmaker, so a little bit of a different mindset had to be brought in.
Double Cloud Drake is very nice also for the Akali slipping into the backline.
That's true, that's true.
And having the mobility to keep on to the Corki that might try to Valkyrie away.
I think the addition of Cloud Drake working in combat was gigantic for the value of that Drake. Didn't get spoke about enough, I think, when that change did come in a little while ago now. As the patience on this blue Sentinel goes down very, very low. It's still going to go over to Dove pretty comfortably, as SANDBOX on the top side of the map going to have all of the control in the world. Naehyun's going to go back home, going to concede to that one. As the outer turret top side, the Kingzone, is going to be obliterated as SANDBOX's is very, very low. So the fact that this wave is pushing in is such high value for them, stopping that standing gold on the map from being claimed by Kingzone for a very long time, given the lane state.
And so now the current status of this game...
Naehyun can't farm today, by the way.
Yeah, he really can.
He's been struggling.
Current game state, 24 minutes. This is panning out the way that we talked about in the ban pick.
Yep.
Where SANDBOX, they'll have almost complete autonomy over the map at this stage. With the Ashe engage, with the Jarvan being able to EQ Cataclysm. And the tankiness is just not there yet on the side of Kingzone. Once Kled gets to 3.5, 4 items, once Karthus starts threatening to pop the carries almost instantly, Corki and Varus get some more of their resist items as well as damage items. That's when the tides will turn in Kingzone's favor. So we have about another 10, 11 minutes to go before Kingzone's team composition just starts to tip the balance in their favor. And so it's going to be on SANDBOX, though, to thread the needle if they want to close this via a Baron capture. They're on a little bit of a clock to do it, so we'll see if they can.
Yep, Wall of Pain comes in, OnFleek. Not going to be deterred, going to take down the Control Ward pretty nicely. And you can see SANDBOX are actually wielding their advantage very nicely, getting all of this vision down. Kingzone do replace it on the top side with, of course, zombie wards, as the vision was cleared on SANDBOX's side. But Baron vision is well and truly there. Abyssal Voyage looking for the gank onto Summit here, get the flash immediately. The ultimate's going to go wide from Deft, good sidestep from Summit, but it's not going to be enough as he's going to fall down. TusiN was happily tanking the turret for him, and backs are going to immediately be channeled. Kingzone could do this because of that cheeky little ward inside the Baron pit, which would have given all of that vision available. SANDBOX going to answer in a turret, top side of the map, as the Kled is going to continue the split push. 29 seconds on Summit. Naehyun turns up. See where the Dove's going to go for a potential dive, as he's going to get electrocuted by the Corki.
Well, Kled clashing.
Yeah?
Whatever happened to Clash?
I mean, it's still a game.
Okay.
Yeah. Kid
Well.
recently won 50K over in, sorry, team recently won 50K over at WCG.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Kled crashed a wave into bottom turret. Wave's going to bounce back in now to Kingzone as they just continue to farm up. And that's all that they have to do. The obligation, or the onus, is not on them to make plays happen. It's to sit back, allow Karthus to maybe passively farm Dark Harvest stacks, get Magi stacks going, and then wait. It's just a big waiting game. You know, it's like a savings account right here. As Summit,
Rascal just head planted.
yeah,
That was adorable.
he gets brought down, and like you were pointing out about the ward, had the enemy team tried to start the Baron,
Yep.
Kingzone would have been alerted.
That's a cheeky one. I mean, that is a pretty famous ward these days, so SANDBOX probably should have swept it.
We got another 9 minutes, Alice. What would you like to talk about?
What I'd like to talk about, I want to talk about your discussion with Valdez yesterday, because you were discussing naming the Drakes, and I had this beautiful moment when you were talking. You were talking about Cloud Mountain and what you should call it.
Yes.
And as soon as you asked the question, I was like, Sandstorm. And Brendan, about 2 seconds after I had the connection and said it, immediately said Sandstorm, and I was like, oh, play-by-play,
That's cast
LCK
synergy.
synergy.
Yeah,
Beautiful
that's
stuff.
quite insane.
Yeah, I was very proud of him. Absolutely wonderful naming idea.
What
He was on fire, actually, yesterday.
Yeah, he really was with
Yeah.
some of the names. Yeah, absolutely.
This is just win.
This is just wind, yeah, right now. That tends to be how it is. Or, you know, you could do something like Hurricane, Tornado, and then something else, but
Typhoon.
yeah, but
I think
What-
Typhoon requires an Ocean Drake. If
Well-
you go double, then maybe, like...
that's a rain drain.
Yeah, I don't know. We've got a fight a brewing, though, is Deft. Oh, no. Dove's going to be taking a lot of damage. Has to flash. Chains of Corruption had already been channeled. That is going to go wide, but the poke damage is now there. You can see Naehyun starting to threaten, Deft starting to threaten, as I believe Infinity Edge is done. Summit looking for a Q over the wall, does land a bit of damage onto Naehyun there. But Deft is going to answer back. OnFleek jumping over the wall, as the Rift Scuttle does go down and provide SANDBOX with some irremovable vision. Top side of the map.
Still waiting on Corki to complete his next item. We got about another 7.5 minutes, remember. You just gotta hang tight.
Yep, hang in there. Arrow going to be flashed there from Deft as TusiN's going to get the Devour. Dove shot him with his sword. He's going to be okay as the charge comes in. In goes the Kled, finds Dove.
I don't know
Glacial
why.
Fissure is decent onto Cuzz there, but Rascal's going to have Skull removed and will have to leave, as that was an odd engage.
Why did he press R?
It was there. It was available.
I'm not entirely sure.
He likes
what.
trumpets.
Okay. He likes the music, the theme song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Baron going to be going down relatively slowly. Vision is going to be given over to Kingzone. Can they actually make it to this pit in time is the question. All the vision available. As we're going to see it again, the Requiem going to get channeled as TusiN doesn't have the flash. Went down to 4 health, but there's no steal option. Summit going to be sacrificed. Cataclysm comes in from OnFleek. Flags and drags. Gets himself out. They lose 1. They take Baron. SANDBOX well and truly in the lead. A great decisive call to turn this game in the mid-game.
They get the Baron. Let's see how many minions are going to end up surviving, though. Ghost and Dove, they both need to recall after having got that. Now, can Kingzone kill the Ocean Dragon before 30 minutes? Let's take a look here. Yeah, they're going to be able to.
They should be able to.
All
This
right.
time they're going to get there as the Cloud is going to
Okay.
be rolled as the final Drake of this game that isn't an Elder.
And so that's a pretty good pickup at this moment. Now, Ghost still hasn't recalled yet, so there will be some time. Now, all of this is a byproduct of Rascal's, I don't even know what I would call it, very bizarre ultimate, okay? As SANDBOX, they find themselves with the Baron Burst. 4 HP is really scary. Imagine if a Runic Echo...
Runic Echo's broke, exactly.
Or imagine if that stole it. That would be one of the best things ever. As Summit goes down as the sacrificial lamb.
That would probably be
And-
better than when the Gleaming Quill, the Q
Yeah,
from Rakan
that would
stole
probably...
Baron.
that would...
Better than the Prowling Projectile from earlier on.
Who was it that stole Baron with a Blitzcrank hook?
I know Thresh Hook.
I
That
know
one
about
happened.
Fresh Hook. Yeah.
I don't remember who it was.
Oh, wait, there was a Mundo Sunfire Cape, right?
I think
That
so.
happened once?
The most famous one was the 2 health Smeb Cannon Barrage steal from Score.
Okay.
That was the Mega Tilter.
Well, speaking about Mega Tilt, Kingzone, they just have to hold their composure. They're almost there. You can see Corki and Varus both working now on their 4th items. Karthus, probably not too far away from a Rabadon's death cap.
Yeah,
That'll
8
be
stacks on the Magi's as well.
Yeah.
As Cuzz able to move on back to this mid lane. Kled looking for Akali, bottom side of the map. Bit stretched, Kingzone right now as Naehyun moves himself over. The top lane has been taken care of here by Kingzone as we get the zoom out. And the wave is being controlled here. Dove, not going to be able to dive Rascal by any means because, of course, the untargetability as he goes down through that purple health bar is going to stop the one-shot potential as red buff is going to be taken here by SANDBOX as they move between the lanes, but Dove is going to demand so much respect out of Rascal, and he's able just to take the turret right in front of him.
Now, if they don't lose an inhibitor, there's 50 seconds remaining. You can see that they're running back to mid to try to tap the minion wave. But if they don't get an inhibitor, it's not enough of an advantage. And also, losing mid inhibitor is not the same as losing bot inhibitor. So
Yeah.
I like the fact that they've moved Cuzz down to bottom to clear out that cannon. Because mid inhibitor is not that valuable at this stage of the game.
Yeah. Dove Was eating some Skittles there, but Rascal was forced to go back to base. He's going to recharge Scar's health bar as SANDBOX move on down. Shuriken backflip lands onto Cuzz. Dove thinking about going aggressive, not going to pull the trigger. As now the siege minion needs to be dealt with. Lay Waste pretty good at that one.
They're pushing it
on a single target.
Different increments. So now they've cracked open the base.
Yeah. Rascal does have full health. He does have the opportunity to press that R button if he wants to. Last time it didn't work out, maybe this time it's going to be better. Skittles dodged from SANDBOX. Inhibitor still standing for now. Ghost getting a cheeky auto, but here's the ultimate. OnFleek going to take the first brunt of the damage, but the Joust is going to be used defensively. Now we've got the Cataclysm in the backline. OnFleek going down very low as Skull is going to get ripped away from Rascal. Dove looking for him though. The backflip doesn't land.
Oh!
He's going to be able to change the direction and take down the Skull, but now SANDBOX looking to back away. They've got one inhibitor. The second inhibitor turret does go down, and this should be enough damage to truly deter and to get the lead that they need to end this game against Kingzone.
Oh man. This is twice now Rascal has gone for a donkey ultimate, and it just is completely pointless. They had defended. They stopped mid from going down, and he ulted in. Corky and Varus, they both said to him, yeah, we're almost at 4 items, and then he just presses the R key. He thought that meant go.
Yeah. Almost isn't actually there.
Yeah, almost isn't quite there,
No.
Atlas. As SANDBOX somehow end up walking away from all of this with 2 inhibitors. Look, it was over. The fight was over. Kingzone had repelled it. They were going to be able to scale back up and take a fight at the next Baron.
Oh,
Rascal
with the Captain Jack cleanse mechanics, actually. Really
Yeah,
nice
that was
with the arrow.
pretty nice, but not as nice as Dove weaving in here. Look at that zigzag.
Really sexy stuff. The return, the Shuriken backflip into the perfect execution, named correctly this time around. Back to live, and we've got a 6,000 gold lead for SANDBOX, but the map advantage is even more gigantic. Should be able to guarantee at least third Cloud Drake, but then also the Baron, which will be coming up in 40 seconds' time. Really cool hat done for Dove, almost done for Cuzz. Still waiting on about 1250. As SANDBOX move over to the top side, pretty cookie cutter, just to alleviate Kingzone of all of their inhibitors.
Well, I can't imagine how Kingzone are going to manage to stabilize this unless they can form a death ball and slowly move forward. But it's gonna be a little bit of base defense here.
Yep, bit of a tower defense type video
Their
game.
bot lane is good right now. Their bot lane not that bad. That minion wave is still quite ways away. So if Kingzone can death ball this, I can't see top lane right now. Actually, I don't know if it's pushing out. If it is, then Kingzone's actually in a pretty good spot. This is not super bad.
Well, arrow going to be avoided. Dove does land the backflip onto Rascal, though, who's running away from this fight as fast as his little legs can carry him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kled jumps off Skull, gets in over to TusiN, but Rascal going to go golden at the last second. Cannot charge up that bar whatsoever, though, and that's the first 2 kills going down. A lot of damage. Still up, though, as OnFleek. He has to go gold. Dove diving on forward. A double kill now for Joker. The flash comes in, but it's such a weird direction. And now Cuzz will have all the pages torn out of his book. The Requiem comes in. Unbreakable denies all the damage. And now 5 members of SANDBOX will win this game, able to topple the Kingzone roster that was just unable to get anything done in this laning phase. Sure, Cuzz had a decent game, but the CS scores, the solo lanes from SANDBOX, just too good for Kingzone today.
SANDBOX, they end up walking away victorious here in game number 1. You know what? This is the battle between the Jedi and the Sith, blue versus red.
Yeah.
As their team colors, and the Jedi mind tricks onto Rascal, using those ultimates just a little bit too strong.
Yeah. He was a bit of a stormtrooper that game, wasn't he?
he was definitely the Anakin Skywalker of this game.
Yeah. You underestimate my power.
All right. Well, I'm really curious who's going to get MVP this game. Who did you vote for?
Dove.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
I voted for Dove as well, but it was only because I can't vote for Rascal. So
that would be BM.
Be honest.
Oh,
you know.
God. BMers.
Oh man. Well, SANDBOX, I feel like they stole that game away.
I do
I
too.
felt
I
like
think
the game
based on
state
the draft, I
was
think they
really
probably shouldn't have
stable.
been able to get that one, yeah.
And if you play out that frozen or that game state over and over and over, Kingzone should walk away victorious in most cases. So we'll see what they're gonna have in store for game number 2. Maybe
I'm
they're just
hoping-
they're gonna do the Deft thing. They're just gonna pick all winning lanes and try to run over their opposition. And you know, it is something I'm not personally a fan of, but it does tend to work for them.
Well, Hirai does have a bit of a grin on his face as he's telling his team what they've done wrong. You can see a lot of damage from all of the lanes of SANDBOX. Even Ghost being able to pick it up towards the end there. He was ahead in farm after being down 20 CS in the laning phase. Really turning this one around. Was the 80 carry of SANDBOX Gaming, but unfortunately for Kingzone fans, just wasn't enough to win bottom lane. They're going to have to stay competitive in the solo lanes for a lot longer. They tried the lane swap tactic. That was a disaster. Didn't work out whatsoever. And I think Akali needs to be looked at. The Karma needs to be looked at. The draft needs to be overhauled. And they've got a few minutes to do that as we go to a short break, ladies and gentlemen. So could be the final game of Week 8 after this, unless Kingzone are able to fire back against SANDBOX Gaming. And I'm personally just hoping that we see a bit of a more even draft.
I know that you just want to see Jinx.
I want to see Jinx. I want to see no Tom Kenny. That's what I want. What do we reckon? You reckon, have you had a look at the script?
God, I had it.
He's going to keep us in suspense, guys. We'll see you after the break.
봐봐. 이거 바텀 빠졌을 때 싸워도 되는데 어떡할래?
나 여기 한번 아래 있어.
볼까? 나 볼까? 생각 천천히 가봐.
한번 돼.
어때? 천천히. 클랜드. 천천히.
물때 있어, 물때 있어.
물어봐.
봐봐, 계속 봐봐.
캐트.
풀어봐.
가자. 앞으로.
오케이.
앞으로.
나 박았어, 너 여기.
바로 스택. 그냥 실드.
뚜까.
바로 스택 안 돼? 오케이.
쉴드 돼.
나이스.
노플.
좋아. 보여주자. 나이스.